So coming up, we've got Tom and Scott. All right, give it up for Tom and Scott.
I want to respond to Ray. I really like what you said. Okay? When I left home for the third time, I slept at the university. And people came, I was sleeping between the buildings. They pissed on me because I was drunk. So I realized then that there's no sanctuary on this planet. Anyhow, when my father died, he bequeathed his body to the university. When I did my first and second degree. And I went back home because they were thanking the families of people who bequeathed their bodies for medical research, and they tried to explain to people how important it is that to find cures for diseases, you have to deal with the physical human body as it is. And a lot of people have religious or ethical constraints about what happens after you leave, your consciousness leaves. But my feeling is, once your consciousness leaves, that's like after the party, you're not going to be there. So why not just give it all? So I did exactly that. I went round to my Angel funeral home around the corner in South Austin. I said, how much do I get for this body? And they laughed. They said, it's too old. I said, how about parts? We can take parts.
How about before I go?
Yeah, I tried that too. And they said, I'll tell you what we'll do for you. Exactly what you said. We'll give you a cremation after we take the parts that we can use for viable research, and you get the free disposal of your remains. I thought, good deal. I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to feel a thing. It's like a dentist with extra drugs. So I thought to myself, I've made a deal with the universe. My deal is this consciousness in this moment now is the only presence of any consequence that can ever be. And if we're not present, it's like we're dead already. If we can't find the right word, the right feeling, the right moment, then there is no point in gathering because we're not really here, are we? And I often ask this because when I spoke to Robin and I spoke to Scott, we were talking about those times between worlds when you don't know where you are. Like sometimes I go the wrong side of the car, I forget what country I'm in. Sometimes I drive down the wrong side of the road for 200 miles before the beating of horns wakes me up. And people ask, when do you sleep? You're writing poems all the time. I say, when I'm driving. I'm a multitasker. I think, why waste all that time? Well, it's right. I'm pointing the way. He knows. And he was talking on the way here about a friend of his, the songwriter died. And this morning I spent time with a friend, a really good friend, whose father had died. Now he's more conservative, shall we say, than anything I could ever be, but I really liked him because he had a mind that was extremely good at listening, absorbing and responding, but he wasn't into argument. He was simply into, okay, as the Indians say, the hachal moment, but what's the closest we can get, the arrow of truth? How close can we get to what's really true? A lot of people say silence is, but I don't agree. But you know, silence is a language too. You can be thinking, he's talking shit again. And straight away, you know, you got this sort of like, this barrier of silence between me and you. And you think, wait a minute, silence is being used as a wall. When you're in a place that you're not really comfortable, you go inside yourself like a little temple. And you withdraw and become small. And you walk outside this world, and the world does that to you. Many times it says, you're not part of this, you're old. Or you're not, you know, you haven't got the right hair, or you've not the right body shape, or the right political opinions. Well, that's right, we haven't. And that's why we have to make our own spaces where we can be not necessarily right, but at least hearing each other. Because the hearing is the poem. People think it's the words that are the poem, but when I heard what you were saying, I responded with the life experience of my father and the life experience of my future, which is exactly what your story was about. And yet also the question is, what shall we do until that moment comes, and that moment of oblivion comes? Well, that oblivion can happen any day when we lose it, you know? Oh, God, where am I? What's happened? Where are my keys? My car, my cash, my cat, my garbage? What's happened? I've lost myself. I used to have a body. Where am I? And then suddenly you wake up and realize you're dreaming again. Those are the magic moments. And that's what I live for.